They were the executive producers of the miniseries.
Okay.
And then Mrs. Jackson and Mr. Jackson had a say. I mean, the family was heavily involved, but as it related to Michael's role specifically, he had the final say in who, portrayed him. So all the characters that, or all the actors that you saw portraying Michael Jackson were chosen by Michael Jackson himself to play him.
What type of choreography and training did you have to go through in order to
intense
give us a good, representation of Michael Jackson? Tell me about the choreography involved with it, and how many hours a day were you required to be in front of those cameras?
You know what? This is what I'll say first and foremost. Rest in peace, and thank you to Micheal Peters. Micheal Peters was our choreographer. Micheal Peters was the choreographer of that era. He choreographed, I want to say, Beat It.
Yeah.
Micheal Peters was the opposite character of Michael Jackson in Beat It, in the white suit.
Yeah. He had the glasses on.
Yeah. I almost want to say he choreographed Thriller too. Don't fact check that on me, but he was one of the main guys that had helped Michael take street dance and refine it into the Michael Jackson style, and to help him choreograph it for his cinematic presentations that he would do with Thriller and Beat It and all that. And so he was a choreographer for the Jackson miniseries. Then, man, he worked us to death.
Perfection.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it was, and he would say that to me all the time. He'd be like, everybody's watching you. You playing Michael Jackson. Like, he was, kind of flamboyant.
Right.
He'd be like, you playing Michael Jackson. You got to be on point. Everybody gonna be looking to see what you gonna do, and I be in rehearsal like, fuck. Like, I'm like, what, 13 years old?
Right.
And I'm like, man, fuck. Like, he's going hard. We would go, even after we would shoot, we would go and rehearse. You know what I'm saying? And it was something that we did willingly, the cast members, because we wanted to be great.
Right.
We wanted to represent the Jackson family and that legacy to the best of our ability. So, it wasn't no extra sweat off our back. It was something that we enjoyed, but we were reminded every day, and thankfully we were, that, we weren't here to fuck around. We were really representing black excellence.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I thank Michael for that. He rest in peace to him. Those are some of my fondest memories of working on that mini series, was those Sundays that I would spend hours with him perfecting movements on down to facial expressions, hand movements, little things, subtle nuances. He coached me through. Yeah.
What was the mini series shot at? What cities?
It was shot in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Specifically Squirrel Hill.
Okay.
Pittsburgh took the place of Gary, Indiana. Gary wasn't ready for the production, and I know this because I grew up close to Gary. I'm from South Holland, Illinois, which is like on the outskirts of Chicago. And I know very well where Gary is and how it looked at that time, and it just wasn't ready to, showcase for a movie. So they took it to Pittsburgh. Okay. And that's where we did it. And we did 3 months there. We had a month and a half off. When the company moved from Pittsburgh to Los Angeles. And then we filmed in Los Angeles for maybe like a month and a half, 2 months.
Right.
Yep.
So with it's safe to say you grew up in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You ever met Rakim?
Nah.
Tell me the rappers you met, man. Tell me the cool rappers you kicked it with, man. You done been in this shit all your life. Tell me a Wu-Tang story.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. You know who's one of the coolest motherfucking rappers, like on some real nigga shit? Big Boy.
Outkast? Word.
Big is a cool nigga, man. Like,
Did you meet Pac?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Tell me.
Oh, you want to hear a Pac story?
Yeah, man. Tell me something about Pac, man.
First time I met Pac was on the set of the Jacksons. As a matter of fact.
Wow. Okay.
We were, you know, the scene where we were doing, where Berry Gordy came in and I was singing I'll Be There in the studio.
Yeah.
Okay, we shot that at Enterprise Studios in Burbank. And when we were on a break, our dressing rooms were like in the base camp right there in the parking lot. And all of a sudden the production crew and everybody, like, it just turned into a big frenzy, and I was trying to figure out, you know, what was going on. That was one of the times I thought Michael was coming, but it wasn't.
Right.
It just so happened to be Janet.
Okay.
And Janet came through, and she brought Pac with her, and they were shooting Poetic Justice.
Wow.
Yeah.
They came the same day.
They were. I guess they were on a break, or maybe they weren't filming that day. I don't know what their schedule was, but I know that particular day, her and Pac came to the set, and I met Pac, and he was hella cool.
Word.
Like, oh man, he was. And then that was the Pac that at that time, that was Tupacalypse Now.
Okay.
That was even before Me Against the World.
All right.
But I was down with Pac when he was like, had the song out, Brenda's Got a Baby.
Did you see him go through transitions as far as his career?
Well, yeah, as a fan, yeah, of course. I mean, I watched him go from the Tupacalypse Now to Me Against the World, that Tupac, and then, you know, when Tupac got out of jail and he got with THRU, and he went hard, you know what I'm saying, on the shit.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I as a fan, yeah, I watched the different periods that he went through, but every time that I interacted with him, he was cool as hell. Oh, here's one cool story I'll share with you.
Alright.
So, I'm on Motown, and this is when Andre Harrell and all of them were over there. So, we went out to, because at that time, Motown was based in New York. That's where Andre wanted it. And we went out to Los Angeles for the Soul Train Awards. And so, you know, Andre had the whole artist roster flown out, executives, the whole nine. And he threw this party on Sunset Boulevard at this place called the La Dome.
Okay.
And fucking, we in there partying, we kicking it. It's all good. Everything's cool. It's a dope ass party. Like, it's Hollywood people in there, all that. And then all of a sudden, it just became like it was like a frenzy. Like, people just started moving around like really frantic. So at this time, I may be like 17, and I'm like, man, what's going on? Like, why is everybody moving around like that? They're like, yo, Suge and Dre and Pac, they outside. Suge and Dre and Pac outside. So I'm like for real? And I'm a fan.
Right.
So I'm like, for real? Pac outside?
Right.
Like, but I'm not understanding how real shit is, you know what I'm saying? So fucking, I'm looking at shit, and I just see like all this commotion, and then I see Suge come in. Suge bolts through the club, and the way that it was set up, it was like there was a front door there, and then there was like the VIP area where like Andre and all them was, and all the executives, and he like bolted right over there. So he goes over there, and I see like Dr. Dre. He comes in, and Dre's cool with it. Dre's not aggressive.
Right.
Dre's coming in there on some shit like, yeah, it's THRU.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But then Pac comes in, and Pac's like a whirling dervish. Like, this nigga's everywhere. Like, he's hitting every corner. Like, he's mad dog, and he's trying, like, he looking for the shit.
He
like,
wreck chasing.
Cause he just coming out of prison. Like, this is literally when he just came out of prison. So he like on one, and he rocking with Suge, you know what I'm saying? He got the Compton, you know what I'm saying? He got the Bompton mob car. Like, like Pac going hard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He mobbing around, ice grilling niggas all through the party. Now, he had passed by me twice,
right,
and he didn't see me. Man, like the third time he passed around, right when he was about to leave.
Yeah.
He was looking around, and I'm just, cause I'm in awe, cause Pac is like one of my heroes, so I'm just looking. And he just having to look down like, Lil Mike, what's up, dog? What's up, man? What you doing in here, man? You know you too young to be up in here, man. And I was just cheesing. I was like, yeah, I'm in here, Pac. I'm on Motown. That was the only thing I could say. But it was like, it was fucking hella cool. And then by the time they got through mobbing through and putting the pressure down, because that's all they were really trying to do was make their presence felt. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all in LA.
Was that Suge thing when Suge came around? Was that kind of like the atmosphere?
Hell yeah.
You used to see Suge pretty regularly. Mm-hmm. Was it the same feeling?
Oh, when Death Row was popping,
yeah, Cali
was active.
Was they active, man? So what did it feel like when Suge and them came around?
Intimidating.
For real. Did you know him?
I like that.
But when you seen them came around, it was normally kind of like a change in the atmosphere.
Yeah, and I know I got people from Compton.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like, not to call out nothing and all that, but I got people from Compton.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That I fuck with, like my folks, and
yeah.
You know, I know what. Yeah, like I know what Suge about. And, you know, no, when that nigga come around, it was like, cause they had money, and then they was Compton niggas.
Right.
It wasn't no.
Is that a hell of a combination? Money and being from
Compton
street nigga.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Some money in Compton, in SoCal.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real. And you know, on the west side of LA and all that, like, I mean, you got 60s, like, I mean, you got A-Trades, you got Crenshaw Mafia. I mean, you got a lot going on in LA. You got cats that's getting money in LA. You know what I'm saying? But that Compton shit with the money, and it's a lot.
Word.
It's a lot. So, like, when Pac was on his shit, like, he was on it, like, nigga, you know, he was...
Were you spending time in Los Angeles during the era when he was killed and all of that?
I was around. I mean, some of my partners, like, yeah, I was around.
So, the people who became associated with it, Keefy D, Orlando Anderson, guys like that, you were familiar with who they was?
I was familiar with who they were. I don't know them. I don't know them like that. But I was familiar with what it was. You feel me? Like, but yeah, I mean, in LA, when it came to that, keeping it all the way real, people in LA knew what was cracking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was all these different stories floating around and all of that. But people in LA, like, that really was moving around, they knew it was cracking. And I mean, you know, now you have Suge in his interview talking about it.
Yeah.
You know, you see things on YouTube where they're clarifying but that's been known fact in the streets of LA for a long time.
How everything unfolded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the same stories from people, like, that's old news basically and shit.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Absolutely. I think a lot of people just came up with different, like, conspiracy theories just for the sake of trying to come up with some shit, right. You know what I'm saying? But those people in LA, and especially in Compton, like, yeah, they know, yeah.
Was it always in the cards for you to be a singer as well as a thespian?
I think so. I mean, I came from a musical background. My family is heavily involved in the music industry. During that time when I first started emerging as an actor, on-screen talent, I was like the only one in my family that did that, you know, as far as being in front of the camera. But as of recently, there are members of my family now who are directors and writers and things like that, on-screen talent. But no, I come from a heavy musical background. My mother
Right.
And my aunts were successful professional recording artists. They were discovered by Curtis Mayfield. Kitty and the Haywoods, for anybody out there that's familiar with them. They had a deal on Capitol Mercury Records. They worked with the Ohio Players. They were on the Sparkle soundtrack, so giving them something he can feel. That Aretha Franklin's on, and pretty much everything on the Sparkle soundtrack as far as the backgrounds that you guys heard.
Right.
My mother and my aunt sang that.
Right on.
So from them, due to their influence, and them ushering me and my cousins into the game, that's what gave us our firm leg up to where we could establish our careers early on in our lives.
Right.
And yeah, and then from there, just there's a lot of different people that helped to influence me.
When it first came, when it first came out, when your music first came out, it seemed like it was gonna be like a novelty thing because we had seen prior to you other actors try to just throw their hand in the music business, and it didn't always, the results wasn't always positive. You did good music, and you were in an era where Usher was around, Soul for Real was around, a lot of different guy groups and solo artists, young guys. How was you able to establish yourself within all of that talent, being an actor?
That's a good question. You know what? I'll be honest with you, Jamil. Like, I don't think I ever really kind of fully established myself within that generation, because respectfully, but also being completely transparent and honest, like, I don't think the record company that I was with at the time and the people that represented that company at the time really understood what I was about as an artist. Like, people got to understand, during that time, being an actor or being like a triple threat or whatever you want to categorize it as being, like, that wasn't looked at as being an attractive thing back then. Especially for record executives, they looked at that shit as like confusing. Like, well, what is he? Because 1 minute he's acting, and 1 minute he's doing the Lion King, and the next minute he want to do R&B records. Like, I got met with a lot of that kind of opposition. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really supported in the sense of like where the record label understood the kind of artist that I was. Like, they wanted me to kind of be a certain kind of way that needed to be rooted in something a certain kind of way versus just recognizing my talent and helping me to, kind of create records and build around them and build a career from there. Like, they didn't really get that. So my experience in music was kind of, like,
one of the things that I thought was dope from reading your press packet was that you performed songs as Simba in The Lion King.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
That was one of the most rewarding experiences, like, as a recording artist that I've had. Yeah.
Word?
Yeah. And thanks to Elton John for giving me that opportunity.
That was news to me that you was the voice of Simba whenever it was a singing performance. Is that known? Is that something that people are aware of?
Some people know. And then some people don't.
Grew up on that movie. I think they doing another movie.
Yeah, they are. They're doing a remake of it, and J.D. McCrary is doing the new young Simba for it.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones is back.
Yeah.
Reprising his role. They got Beyonce. They got Donald Glover. I mean, the cast is like, they got the megastars.
We gotta make us. You a megastar. We gotta make us a call, man. Get you on the soundtrack, man.
You know what? If they want to do something where they want to do like a remix to "I Just Can't Wait to Be King" and all that, like, man, I'm all down to do it. But here's what I will say about that, because a few fans on social media specifically have asked me about that. Like, well, how do you feel about it? And it's like, honestly, man, I was blessed to be a part of the first Lion King, like, and I made a lot of money with that, and I'm thankful to God for that.
Right.
Man, they don't owe me nothing.
Man, like, we need another. We trying to get another lap around the track.
No, I feel you. But you know what? God forbid if it doesn't happen, I'm cool because they did right by me. Like being a part of the Lion King, the first go round was one of the most rewarding.
So Harlem, man. Harlem. I be in Harlem, man. The only thing moving, man. Even the game up. Yup. 40th. Harlem.